Welcome to the Thursday edition of Liberty Lunch Break, the topic du jour from Off the Wire. I am your host, Noella Lynn, aka the Cajun Libertarian. And tonight we have, or today, sorry, the lunch show, we have a fantastic lineup of material and content for you. But before we get started, please like, share, subscribe, all of the above, because word of mouth is absolutely still the most fantastic way to spread this message of liberty that we still hold valuable. Now, as you can see, I am wearing one of my favorite shirts, Government 1 out of 5 stars. Very bad, would not recommend. However, I would make one slight adjustment: 0 out of 5 stars. Horrible. Would not recommend. Actually recommend that it is 100% destructive in every aspect whatsoever. So that being said, please like, share, subscribe, because man, I need your help so much. It's free for you, and we can do this. We can tackle this tyranny. I promise you. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, basically anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, please. The Cajun Libert One or Noella Lynn on Twitter, and the Cajun Libertarian basically anywhere else, YouTube included. The show is just blowing up. It's like astonishing. Now, I don't know if I already said this or not, but if you want sponsorship on the show, which it does get no less than 1,200 downloads a month on one platform alone. That's the anchor that dishes it out to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Plus, don't forget about the Facebook page that I stream to and Twitter, which also get thousands of views collectively between all of them. So hit me up. Now, let's get started. Meat, dairy, and rice production will bust 1.5 Celsius climate target shows study coming from The Guardian on March 6, 2023. Man, look, if you don't understand at this point, and I'm not speaking to my particular audience because my particular audience already understands this in full length, some of which understand it more than I do. Climate cultists are by far the most genocidal and dangerous conspiracy theorists on the planet. And there's not even a second close. Not even a second close. They're horrible. So let's continue. And I have an amazing video for you, by the way. Just don't forget that the meat, dairy, rice. Rice. How much of a staple is rice in our diet? How much of a staple is rice in the diet of the every average day global human being? Is it a major staple? And I've got an amazing video. Look, let me give you the headline from the second article because we're going to blow through these really quickly. Vegan, which is a lie. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, he is not a vegan. His let me reread it again so that you get the entire context of what the headline is from the Washington Examiner from April 18th. Vegan Eric Adams forces his deficient diet on school children and hospital patients. Now, let's continue with this first one. Meat, dairy, and rice production will bust 1.5 Celsius climate target, shows study from The Guardian on March 6th. Emissions from the food system alone will drive the world past 1.5 C of global warming. Global heating is what they use, actually. My bad. Unless high methane foods are tackled. So just food. They want you to starve to death. These are genocidal maniacs. The climate conspiracy theorists are the most dangerous alarmists on the planet. Full stop. Climate heating emissions from food production dominated by meat, dairy, and rice will by themselves break the key international target of 1.5 C if left unchecked, a detailed study has shown. The analysis estimated that if today's level of food emissions continued, they would result in at least point. I'm sorry. If you're just new to the show, which there's a lot of you, right? Like so many new viewers. It's wild to me how popular this show is. I'm brand new at this. Brand new. like less than 2 years, that's extremely new. And so I'm still learning. The new viewership is off the charts. The if you haven't been if you're new to the show, the zero point 0.7 Celsius of global heating, amazing. Like these are the things that your government is pushing your media to fall in line with. Obviously, this is from the Guardian. Amazing, amazing. Of a zero point 0.7 Celsius of global heating by the end of the century. The end of the century. On top of the 1C rise already seen. This means emissions from food alone, ignoring the huge impact of fossil fuels, which would push the world past the 1.5C limit. The study showed that 75% of this food related heating was driven by foods that are high sources of methane, i.e., those coming from ruminant livestock such as cattle, so no more beef, and rice paddy fields, so no more rice. So literally, eat the bugs and live in the pods. Agenda 2030. Again, if you're new to the show, you're going to learn real fast what we're talking about because this is not a conservative issue. This is not a liberal issue. This is not a progressive or Republican or Democrat or libertarian or independent or anarchist issue. This is a straight up anti-human problem. These people want more people dead. Period. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want, but the fact remains is that these are staples of diet throughout human history that has sustained our population. They're psychopaths. You're not going to just live in the pods and eat the bugs. No, you'll die. Full stop. Share the show because these people are out of control. Now, remember, I'm always going to give you the article and the date so that you can go look it up for yourself. Guardian, The Guardian, March 6, 2023. Now, however, the scientists said the temperature rise could be cut by 55% by cutting meat consumption in rich countries to medically recommended levels, reducing emissions from livestock and their manure, and using renewable energy in the food system. Previous studies have shown that the huge impact of food production on the environment, particularly meat and dairy, but the new study provides estimates of the temperature rises their emissions could cause. Amazing. Let's keep going because I'll run my mouth the whole time. I just literally, they don't want you to just eat. They don't want you to eat. They don't want you to have food. Period. That's entirely the point. All in the name of not allowing the temperature to rise 0.7 Celsius degrees in a century. You can't have meat, you can't have rice. So that we can not, or I'm putting this in the context of the fact that they're being accurate with their assumptions. They can't even predict the weather tomorrow. But they know what's going to happen with less than 1 degree of temperature a century from now. Man, get bent. Anyway, yeah, you're supposed to starve to death or eat bugs and hope you don't starve to death in the name of a 0.7, a 0.7th of a degree in temperature change that they can't even verify scientifically over the next 100 years. All right, let's keep going. Got to get to this video because it's an amazing video. Just incredible. Unbelievable. These could be a significant Why are they wording? Come on, Guardian, do better. You already effed me up on once with this with your phraseology, garbage phraseology in the previous sentence. All right, let me try to backtrack here and read this contextually in the right format and delivery system. Let's see. However, the scientists said the temperature rise could be cut by 55% by cutting meat consumption in rich countries to medically recommend recommended levels, reducing emissions from livestock and their manure, and using renewable energy in the food system. In the food system. Previous studies have shown the huge impact of food production on the environment, particularly meat and dairy. But the new study provides estimates of the temperature rises their emissions could cause. These could be a oh yeah, there we go. I'm sorry. These could be a significant underestimate. However, as the study assumed, animal product consumption would remain in the future, but it was projected to rise by 70% by 2050. Just not true. It's just not. These people are cultists. They're death cultists. Period. All right. Quote, methane has this really dominant role in driving the warning associated with the food systems, end quote, said Catherine Ivanovich at Columbia University in the United States, who led the research. Quote, sustaining the pattern of food production we have today is not consistent with keeping the 1.5 Celsius temperature threshold. I'm just going to keep going. That play that that plays a lot of urgency on reducing the emissions, especially from the high methane food groups. End quote. But is it though? But does it? No, it does not. Quote. We have to make the goal of sustaining our global population consistent with a climate safe future. End quote. She said, quote, our analysis clearly demonstrates that current dietary production and consumption patterns are incompatible with sustaining a growing population while pursuing a secure climate future, end quote. It's just a lie. It's a lie. My gosh. Quote, we have to make the goal of sustaining our global population consistent with a climate safe future, she said. Our analysis clearly demonstrates that current dietary production and consumption patterns are incompatible with sustaining a growing population while pursuing a secure climate future. Just a lie. Food related temperature rise could be curbed, the researchers said. Could be curbed. There is no temperature rise according to food related. Anything whatsoever. This is a blatant lie. All right, I'm going to keep beating that dead horse if I don't move on. It's just amazing. If people adopted the healthy diet recommended by Harvard Medical School, which allows a single serving of red meat per week, the rise could be cut by 0.2% Celsius. So having one serving of red meat per week. Let me ask you a question. Are you more concerned with your health? Or are you more concerned with some lies and propaganda coming from the climate cultists? It's your pick. Because it's well documented and well researched with actual science that you have to have red meat. At the very least, you will be anemic. Anemic being iron deficient. Where do you get iron from? Red meat. Or you could take supplements, all derived by Big Pharma. Good luck with that. There is an absolute reason that from the entire recorded history of human civilization, meaning biblical records, because that is the only true validated record of human history that human beings have had to have meat. They have to have meat. They're a death cult, period. Now, you can disagree with me on the biblical analysis of human population. Fine, right? But you can't argue with the stats. You can't. You can't argue with the fact that the only real recorded event of human history is most namely recorded in the Bible. And at best, it's 6,000 years. Human civilization. And that is somewhat irrelevant. Because even if you believed in Darwinism, which some of that may be true, not the racist part, obviously, that's terrible, genocidal. Humans have to have meat. We have to. Let me break it down for you in another way that most of you probably already understand. Humans have to have meat. If they don't, they literally have to take supplements, which I already alluded to. All right, moving on, because I want to get to this video. It's ridiculous. Such a diet would mean a big cut in meat eating in rich nations, but could mean an increase in some poorer countries. You think? Only a third of the world's countries have included policies to cut emissions from agriculture in the climate plans they have submitted under the United Nations Paris Agreement, which is an absolute trash pact, accord, whatever you want to call it, agreement, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just a money grab. You think you're going to throw money at it? Oh, it's so maddening. These people are in a cult. You are not going to give your money to the government, and they're going to fix the weather. And miss me with your garbage talking point that weather is different from climate. They've been wrong on every single point of this. So let's keep going. Next, vegan lie. Eric Adams, mayor of New York City, forces his deficient diet on school children and hospital patients. This is from April 18th, the Washington Examiner. Now, to my knowledge, I don't follow the Washington Examiner. My guess is that they're, according to this article and maybe like one or two others that I've read, they're probably more conservative than not. I don't know. What I would really love is just for some news outlets and some articles that I don't have to go fishing through to get just actual truth without bias. That would be fantastic. Now, that being said, good luck. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So what we have to do as independent critical thinkers, we have to find the content and then we have to dissect it accordingly. In chicken bone theory, eat the meat, spit out the bone, dissect it, digest what is actually of worthiness, and then spit out the bias. That's our only options. It's it. It's what we have to do. And if you're an informed individual, if you actually care about the state of our country, if you actually care about the state of this planet and the people that live on it, then you have an obligatory duty to do as much. Period. I mean, if you have kids, are you just going to sit back and allow this tyranny to take hold? And my goodness, do I have an absolutely amazing show for you tonight. Incredible show with many videos. This is getting out of control. And we have the power. We, the people. We can slow this, possibly stop it. But there's absolutely no chance you can do that if you stick your head in the sand and not pay attention to it and say, oh, yeah, my politics ain't my thing. Good luck, because you'll be the first one on the chopping block. New York City Mayor Adams thinks he is better than you. which is why he now wants to force New Yorkers to adopt his vegetarian lifestyle. And he's not a vegetarian, he's not a vegan. And I'm about to prove it. He's a pescatarian, which I'm all for. I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. Do I love red meat? Yes, in small amounts, of course. But I have some gastric diseases that make red meat kind of complicated for me. I could easily be a pescatarian and then just, you know, slightly add red meat to the diet. Would be very easy for me. However, red meat is very, 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 very healthy for you. And it's okay for the planet. Adams is cutting meat from the menus. Let me repeat and slow down a bit because I'm a fast talker. I'm a fast reader. And I've been fussed at a little bit by the audience as of late for reading too fast and talking too fast. That's who I am. So let me slow down because I want you to hear this. Adams is cutting meat from the menus for New York City schools and public hospitals, despite the negative effect it will have on children and patients. This is partly an exercise in self-importance by a self-important man. No, Eric Adams is not important. He is a useless D-bag that needs to be dethroned and probably thrown in jail. If you really comb through the actual legal activities that he's been involved with, man, although he eats fish, pescatarian. He's not a vegetarian. He's not a vegan. He does not implement a plant-based diet, as you're about to see in this incredible video. In this incredible video, he is a pescatarian. Obviously, at best, who knows, man? He might eat steak too. He's just putting on the front. They're all actors. They're all actors for power grabs that hate your guts. They hate you. Every bit of them hates you. Republican, Democrat, all of them. Although he eats fish, Adams calls himself a vegan. He's obviously not. This is the reason he asserts that, quote, a plant-powered diet is better for your physical and mental health, end quote. After all, that is his diet. And who knows better about what is good for you than Eric Adams? The other part, though, is Adams' commitment to the Democrat Party's climate cult. Now, let's watch this absolute ignorant, low IQ, tyrannical clown that wants to dictate to you and your kids what you can and cannot eat. See if I'll play the right video here.
1 in every 5 metric tons of carbon dioxide our city emits comes from food. But all food is not created equal. The vast majority of food that is contributing to our emission crises lies in meat and dairy products. We already know that a plant-powered diet is better for your physical and mental health, and I am living proof of that. But the reality is that thanks to this new inventory, we're finding out it is better for the planet. 1 in every...
I mean, New York and the entire United States, stop electing people that can't even read in public. I'm a podcaster. I'm a social media influencer. I speak faster and read faster and have obviously a much higher intellect and IQ than the New York City mayor, who can't even efficiently read in front of a teleprompter. You know, he's got either paper in front of him and or a teleprompter sitting right in front of his face, and he can't even make it through that without sounding like somebody that has an IQ of a retarded fish frog. What are you thinking? This is what you get, New York. I don't feel bad for you whatsoever, New York City. You get what you deserve. You've got the government that you elected and you voted for. Somebody that can think on a 3rd grade level at best. My toddler could probably read better than this clown. It's unbelievable. And he's a flat out liar. He does not live by a plant-based diet. He is a pescatarian at best. And that's just admitted. Who knows what else he's lying about? The issue has been floating around the Democratic Party for a few years now. It's about time that it comes to a head, with Democrats proposing to eliminate meat. To eliminate meat. The Democrats are proposing to eliminate meat, the single most nutrition dense food available to most people, from diets altogether. Adams' new cultural fight comes at the same time the Democratic Party's climate hysteria has targeted cars and gas stoves. Fact. Fact. They're eliminating gas stoves in certain parts of the country, primarily blue areas. Get out of these blue cities. I'm not a Republican. I despise Republicans. But my God, am I so freaking grateful that I live in a red state. Because after the last 3 years, you would have to be an absolute moron to think that living in a democratically controlled area is a good thing. They strip you of your self-protection. They strip you of any and all inalienable rights that you were born to have, like eating food. But then I still get smooth brain, wrinkle-free morons in my comment sections telling me that I'm a right-wing magatard, even though I've been outspoken over and over and over and over again about the fact that I'm a never Trumper. I just don't have TDS. I'm a sane human being. No, I don't want Trump to be the president. Never have, never will. But he's definitely better than Joe Biden. And you'd have to be an absolute ridiculous moron to think anything otherwise. Amazing. Amazing. Obviously, Adams and his presidential ambitions didn't want to be left out. Adams wants to be a public health authoritarian, yes, as evinced by his torment of children during the COVID-19 pandemic, yes. He also thinks that eliminating meat from the pockets of New York City and eventually the United States will somehow counteract China's massive carbon emissions, which persistently cancel out the rest of the world's carbon reductions. Fact. You are not going to throw money at Western governments who hate your guts and want you to die, thinking that China is going to do the same. Absolutely not, man. They're building coal plants left and right. So if you're a COVID cultist, if you're a climate cultist, they're doing the same. They're the same people. They just have no ability to critically think. They have no intellectual capacity whatsoever outside of that of a 2-year-old. That's about the max of their intellectual ceiling whatsoever. Good luck. I say good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you, ma'am. Keep voting that way, as if voting is going to fix these tyrannical states that we currently have anyway. I suggest, in all honesty and care and love and earnest, that you learn to be self-sufficient. And I suggest that you learn these things immediately, because you are not safe. You are not going to be saved by anyone while you're in this dimension. However, if you want to be saved from death and the grave, Jesus is your answer. The only way to the Father, the way, the truth, the life is Jesus Christ. Galatians 2:20. I'll end it right there. I love you very much. I will see you tomorrow. Actually, I'll see you tonight for an absolutely freaking packed, outstanding show tonight. You think this was fire? Wait till tonight. I love you. Galatians 2:20, and I am out.